Sherrie and I wanted to take a few minutes and share with you, because I'm sure there's lots of questions. So what's going on with LYFE? It's different. We're not an hour south, but we wanted to share a little bit what we believe God is doing and where he's leading us. And I'm going to start with a little bit. If you've read the back of the notebook, I put a little bit of history in there for you, just a little tidbit. 1932, Baptist Bible Seminary, later known as Clark Summit University, the home and the owner of LYFE Women's Conference, was started right here by 5 individuals, 3 women and 2 men, who just said, hey, there needs to be biblical teaching, biblical education. Use us. We want to start it. So they did. Fast forward, I'm not going to give you the whole history. Fast forward to 1983. I've alluded to it already. Linda Strain, who was here with us yesterday, and Shirley Franklin, 2 women who came to Johnson City, New York to a women's event and left saying, we believe we can do that at then BBC, same school. We want to teach God's word. We want to put our flag in that. And so they started Ladies' LYFE. Wanted to center on God's word to help women live your faith every day. LYFE. Okay? Fast forward to 2024, a little bit easier. LYFE Women's Conference, the ministry of Clark Summit University. Clark Summit University closed. God closed that chapter. Okay? Sherrie Holloway and myself brought together some of our life planning team members who had been with us planning LYFE conferences and said, we believe LYFE needs to go forward. And God confirmed that in so many ways I don't have time to tell you here today. And so what we did is we formed a nonprofit, LYFE Events, Inc. Very intentional with that name, and Sherrie will tell you that. And we believe that God is moving us forward to LYFE Women's Conference to expand this ministry beyond a once-a-year event. More on that. Sherrie.
Yeah. Since the very beginning, the mission of LYFE Conference has been to equip and encourage women to live their faith every day with core values. And we, as we formed the nonprofit LYFE Events Incorporated, made sure from the very beginning that we are holding on to what is it that's going to make LYFE events solid. So we wanted to make sure, and I want to be sure you understand, our 4 key values. And they're on the back of your notebook, by the way, right? So we wanted you to know what they are right from the beginning. And the first thing, absolutely, the first thing is solid biblical teaching. From this platform, in all of our main sessions, we believe that it is the Word that changes people, not just good stories with a verse attached. And there's a place for that. But the key foundation of what we are about is the Word, solid biblical teaching. The second thing is God-centered worship. We want to be able to praise and worship and honor the one who has brought us all together. We worship through song, through prayer. We also do that with our third core value, and that is with authentic connection. We want to provide opportunity for community, because God did not place us here. Let me put it a different way. God placed us intentionally with community. He knows how important that is. And I hope all of you are in a good Bible teaching church and finding good community. But that shouldn't stop when you come in a situation like this. So we intentionally want to provide opportunity for that to happen. We know that for years, as I've worked with LYFE, you do that. I believe that's because you come to hear the Word, and when the Word is working in you, God works through you to other people. right? So there's all of this. It's all tied together. The fourth thing is that we want to be sure that we're providing good, solid, practical resources for you to keep growing and learning how to live out your faith, as well as what would God have you to do as you continue in your journey, and where would he use you? So some of that resources is about your growth personally. But some of the resources also we want to be challenging you that God may use to say, hey, let's take a step. Let's go. What else? Oh, yes. So let me talk about the intention, why we named LYFE Events. So with those 4 solid core resources, we really believe from the very beginning, I believe that this is just the beginning of what God will do with LYFE, life. I have no idea what he's going to do with my life. But from the very, very beginning, I really believe, and intentionally, we did not want to name the nonprofit LYFE Conference. We named it LYFE Events Incorporated. Who knows what God is doing as he, I believe, is unfolding for us little by little, showing us. And honestly, you ever think about that? How amazing it is that God just does process in us, as opposed to, hey, this is what your life's going to look like in 20 years? Have at it. But so little by little, who knows? We don't want this. We're thinking that it's not just a once-a-year conference, that perhaps it will be larger in different places and smaller in other places. We want to take it across the country, regionally. Perhaps it's more than just a women's conference. What if eventually God were to use LYFE to do something for men? Okay. Or what if we use those solid core values and maybe God will use this in teens, or I don't know. But I want you to understand, we really believe, and I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
I think God is going to do something on a grander scale with this. And it has been an amazing opportunity to be here this weekend. We're so glad you've joined us. And it has taken a village, hasn't it?
It has taken a village. Yeah. One of my favorite stories is a story in the Bible. God has always used ordinary people. It's ordinary, right? And then he does his with the willingness. It's his work, right? And so when God is talking to Moses and the children are captive in Israel, right, or in Egypt, sorry, and he says, he's talking to Moses and said, hey, I have something for you to do. Some of us know the story. Moses is like, oh, but I'm a stumbler and I'm a this, I'm a that, right? And God says to him, I am with you. What's in your hand? Moses was a shepherd, it's a staff. And then it goes on. So I've been challenged for over 3 decades in my life. Dena, what's in your hand? What's in your hand? And so as you came in, you had a seat drop. It's a card that we made. And the very first line says, whatever is in your hand, God can use it to make an eternal impact. We believe it's beyond 6, 7 ladies sitting in a room planning a life conference. Yeah, we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep planning events and resources. That's what we believe God has asked us. We're yielding up our hands and saying, God, we're all different. We all have our skills and our gifts. Will you just use it? We don't know. It's ugly sometimes and it's beautiful sometimes, but it's willing to what you would have. So we want this to be a movement. We want you to come along with us, not just to say, hey, I want to be there. We want you to be here at the events, yeah. But we're looking for people to join us and pray. 3 things. I'm a 3's number girl. Pray. Nothing happens apart from God, and we believe that. We're asking people to jump right in. Again, what's in your hand? Are you a creative person? Are you somebody who has connections? Are you somebody who loves to just write letters, write notes? I don't know. Do you like to do research and find out logistics of things and contribute? I have no idea what's in your hand. But I'm asking you, will you ask yourself the question, what's in your hand? And is God maybe asking and leading you to, hey, I want to jump in and I want to take and be a part of making a difference through helping those people in my sphere of influence. And as that map fills in and gets colored, because we're all over the place, we're reaching people for Jesus. And that's what it's all about. And last on here is financial support. There's a couple of us who truly believe, and we've been doing this full time now for some months. And this is what we're doing. You're like, wow, did you inherit a major fortune when you took LYFE over? No.
Well, if we did, you took it all.
I took it. I hid it so she wouldn't spend it. No. But we're just saying, God, here we are. We want your glory, and we want you to work in women. Grow them in their faith and love for you. So we're asking you, what's in your hand? So you have that card. And I just ask you to consider what you would like to do. There's options on the back there. If you'd like to go ahead and give a contribution, the instructions are there. If you have a skill in your hand, I'd like to volunteer. We had a lot of volunteers this weekend, and we're so grateful. It takes a village, and it's going forward with what we believe God has. Check that. I'd like somebody to follow up with me, and we'll reach out to you. You want to be on our prayer warrior team? Check that box. We'll send out a monthly prayer with requests and even praises. Because I'm mean to tell you, I think we're giving more praises than we are prayer requests these days because God is working.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
for sure. Yeah.
And that's true. But something new, and I'm going to leave you with this, is what's in it for you a little bit too, besides seeing God's blessing and being part of something that God is working in, is we put together a package that, and it's on the card there, and I'm not going to try to explain it too much to you, but the equivalent of what your contribution is, if you give $10 a month to support LYFE, which is a tax deductible, we're a nonprofit now, so you get that receipt, you're going to get 10% off your LYFE 2026 registration. If you give $50 a month, you're going to get 50% off your registration for LYFE. If you give $100 a month, you're coming to LYFE 2026 at zero, okay? No cost, okay? So be watching for more information, but we believe that it's going to take all of us, and we are grateful for your prayerful consideration. How might God maybe be wanting to use my hands? We oftentimes sit and it's like, I have nothing. Moses thought the same thing. In fact, he negatived himself. I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. What's in your hands?
Thank you so much. We appreciate your help. And how can we honor God as we go forward? Thank you for all of your encouragement. We're so grateful for all of that and so glad that you are here.